I'm going to run through a number of acknowledgments here. Staff, some board members that are transitioning, and then a couple of committee members too. So, and then at the end of that, I'll invite Rick up because Rick will then do a couple things before this other thing that we'll do. So first I have staff acknowledgments. I would like to acknowledge Erin Horn. Erin is the Associate Vice President of Public Policy Research at the Compact, obviously. He leads multiple research initiatives intended to inform policymaking in the Midwest and beyond in the areas of college readiness, affordability and finance, educational quality and performance, value, and accountability. He's published research over the past decade that has spanned such topics as internationalization, scientific integrity, faculty stress, how about that, study abroad, moral and ethical development, civic engagement, and performance indicators for accountability systems. Prior to joining MEC, Erin conducted educational research at the U of M, University of Minnesota. There's that other U of M, don't forget that, where he conducted various large-scale projects, including the Department of Education-funded Study Abroad for Global Engagement, a pioneering nationwide study on the long-term outcomes of participation in study abroad programs. This is the most important thing I think about Erin in our organization is that among his more adventurous undertakings in life, Erin worked for a couple of years in Bogota, Colombia as a psychotherapist. Thank God we have a psychotherapist on staff. At the Returner, did I say that right? Psychiatric clinic, and was a faculty member in the Department of Psychology at Antonio Nariño University. Erin has been with the Compact for 10 years, so we're here to honor you for that. Thank you, Erin. Here you go. And here's a card too. Sorry. All right. Our second staff member to be honored is Robtrembath. Robtrembath is our Chief Operating Officer and General Counsel and handles all legal matters for the Compact and is the primary contact for MEC's cost savings initiatives. I would also say that Rob also worked closely with the Executive Committee for the Compact, with our governance and also finance and audit committees. He oversees our request for RFP processes for our initiatives and contract negotiations on master agreements, as a liaison with the state attorney general and procurement offices, et cetera. Rob completed his baccalaureate in finance at the University of Nebraska, his JD at Indiana University, and his master's in public policy at the University of Minnesota's Humphrey Institute for Public Affairs. So he hits a couple of our key Midwestern states. Rob is a member in good standing of the Minnesota Bar, and he began working for the Compact 5 years ago, 10 years ago, 15, 25 years ago, Rob. So I'd like to honor Robtrembath. You're very welcome. Congratulations. All right. Now I'd like to acknowledge some of our commissioners who are transitioning. The first commissioner that I'd like to note is Janelle, and this is being recorded, I believe, and available to them later. So there are 4 commissioners I'd like to acknowledge. The first is Janelle Toman. Janelle hails from South Dakota, and she's the Director of Communications for the South Dakota Board of Regents. Janelle has announced that she'll retire in April of 2022, and she's been a commissioner for 9 years. She's a native South Dakota and went to college with our incoming treasurer, VJ Smith, who you met today. She has a long career in higher education and state government. She was a press secretary to Governor George Mickelson, who you may remember tragically died in a plane crash, and former Governor Walter Miller. And before that, she was a reporter and an editor. I've really enjoyed working with Janelle very much. So thank you, Janelle, for your service. David Wands. David Wands is the president and CEO of the Indiana College, the Indiana Association of Independent Colleges. There are 29 colleges that are independent in Indiana, and he's been with our compact for, I think, 5 years or so. I really enjoyed getting to know David. When I was poking around in his biography, he was with the University of Indianapolis for 35 years, and before that, he was a police officer, which, that's not a natural sort of a career path, would you say, even if you're thinking about credentials and stacking of credentials, police officer to higher education leader. But he's a former police officer, and one of the wonderful compliments I read about him was that he's the ultimate, somebody in Indianapolis, I think it was the mayor said, David is the ultimate connector. So we want to express our gratitude to David. He had to leave today, but let's join a round of applause for David Wands. All right. Now, this might be a little early for you, Mark, but you are currently a commissioner, but you won your election a little while ago, right? Recently. And so having served as the representative in the 74th district, which is northeast, is that roughly? I don't know what the new Senate district looks like, or west, but your district will expand, obviously. And so, of course, those assignments are uncertain, but you're serving until January, and then after that, we'll wait to see what happens. But I wanted to at least express our gratitude to you for your service. Mark is the chair of the House Appropriations and Higher Education, Higher Ed Committee. It's Community College and Higher Ed Committee, is that right? Subcommittee. You're also on the Appropriations Committee. You've been a business person and consultant for a number of years, and you and your wife, Chris, have 3 kids. So thank you very much for your service as well. And then finally, Ralph Langenke. Ralph is not here, but those of you who've been with the compact for a little while remember Ralph and will know him well. He just announced his retirement. He's been with WICU, which is the acronym, the Wisconsin Association of Independent Colleges and Universities, for almost 30 years. The Wisconsin Association represents 23 private colleges and universities in Wisconsin. Our son, Peter, goes to one of those colleges, Lawrence University in Appleton, Wisconsin, where he's a sophomore. Rolf has served 5 Wisconsin governors. That's kind of amazing. And we really wish Rolf well and thank him greatly for his service to the compact. All right, let's see if I can. All right, I'm now going to announce 2 service awards. One of the things that I really appreciate greatly about the compact is that we have committee members. Those committee members are volunteers from institutions, from state government, and they provide advice and counsel to us on all of our committees. So whether it's an insurance-related committee or a policy and research-related committee, we have volunteers from our 12 states who generously give their time and wisdom to us. So 2 of those individuals that we want to recognize tonight, and they were not able to be here, is Shelley Hout. Shelley had an injury, but she's from Michigan. She's the executive director of licensure, regulatory services, and human capital at Central Michigan University. Shelley has served as a state-appointed member of MEC's MHEC Regional Steering Committee since 2015. Her contributions have been critical to the success and support of Sarah in the Midwest, but also nationwide. She's volunteered to serve on several working groups as an RSC member, including a working group on branch campuses and another working group to craft operations and guidelines. So most recently, she was nominated to serve on an NC Sarah board-based working group regarding, she's worked on the branch campus work group, which is actually where I got to know her. She served as a mentor and role model to other members of the MHEC RSC, but also to member states and institutions. So let's thank Shelley for her service. Tracy Korsmo is from North Dakota, and he's the enterprise architect for this is kind of a long title, enterprise architect for the statewide longitudinal data system and BI program manager for the North Dakota Information Technology. Tracy is a key asset to our Comprehensive Learner Record Advisory Group and the efforts of our Credential Transparency Alliance by generously sharing his knowledge and expertise in data systems to inspire and assist others working in these areas. We're very grateful to Tracy and the time that he's given to us and wanted to just express our gratitude to him. Thank you. So now I'd like to invite one of our commissioners, Rick Carfagna, up to the stage, and he is going to hum a few bars about our outgoing chair, David Eisler. Rick? Thank you. You bet.
Thank you, Susan. I'm here to acknowledge our outgoing chair, David Eisler, and I first want to acknowledge my gratitude that we took our chairman's vote today before Bill Pink's speech. I have goosebumps. I'll follow you anywhere. That was great. Really was. David gave me his bio earlier today, and he said, trim this down. I trimmed it like 2 sentences because after the year that we've had with you at the helm, I think every bit of it is worth it. So I will offer up some remarks here about our outgoing chairman. So Dr. David Eisler has served as president of Ferris State since July of 2003 and is the senior public university president in Michigan. On campus, Dr. Eisler has worked with faculty, staff, and students to develop and implement a vision that focuses Ferris State University as a career-centered university. Under his leadership, the university has embarked on an ambitious program of curricular innovation, classroom renovation, cooperative programs with high schools and community colleges, and providing opportunity for students who might not otherwise attend college. At Ferris, he leads the Now and Always comprehensive campaign, which recently passed its $115 million goal, having raised over $117 million for university students, facilities, and programs. During his presidency, the Ferris Foundation Endowment has grown from $18 million to over $116 million. Remarkable. President Eisler is a recipient of the inaugural Newsmaker of the Year in Education Award by the Grand Rapids Business Journal, the Hispanic Advocate Award from the community to honor Cesar Chavez, and is a member of the Ferris State University Welding Engineering Technology Hall of Fame, and is the University of Michigan and the University of Michigan School of Music, Theater, and Dance Hall of Fame. Dr. Eisler serves on the boards of the Central Collegiate Hockey Association, the Great Lakes Intercollegiate Athletic Conference, Grand Rapids Symphony, Michigan Association of State Universities, Michigan Research Council, and Michigan Works West Central. President and Mrs. Eisler, who's here with us this evening, are committed to creating opportunities for foster youth. And they've established the Johnson Endowment, honoring Mrs. Eisler's adopted parents and providing scholarship support for students from the foster youth system. President Eisler believes strongly that the higher education experience should prepare students for successful careers, create a pattern of intellectual rigor, develop a commitment to community engagement, and provide the foundation for lifelong learning. And just to add a little bit of my own commentary, we heard David today say this is your 17th year with MHEC. Over the course of today, at least, many of you have heard his passion and his enthusiasm shine through. I'm here to tell you that it's not a surprise to me, at least in my short time with MEC. It's the same level of dedication here today. The commentary, the insight, on every action item that we had on the agenda. Heard that over the course of this past year, whether it was a convening program, whether it was a finance and audit committee meeting, whether it was a Zoom call, just that level of engagement. My short few years with MEC, it has been an honor and it's been a pleasure to work alongside of you, Dr. Eisler. We talk about this past year with this pandemic and how challenging it's been to all of us. Think about how it is to run not just a university, but to run MEC at the same time. It took a steady hand, and I'm grateful for your leadership over this past year and a lot of decisions we had to make. We were leading up to the executive committee meeting in Des Moines, and David had a nasty fall. How many ribs did you break? 4? 8 ribs. Guy breaks 8 ribs, and I got the call. That he was tapped out, and I had to tap me in to help run point at the executive committee meeting. But I mean, literally from his hospital bed, he's calling me and going over. These are the things that we have to knock out. We're at that executive committee. We're going over staff things and other action items. And I'm like, is this happening? I mean, you got 8 broken ribs. It was it truly was remarkable. I am so grateful for your stewardship of MEC and for helping this compact modernize and expand the opportunities and the cost savings to our member states over this past year. Thank you for your leadership, for your dedication, and all of the work and the sweat equity that you've put in this organization for 17 years. Ladies and gentlemen, please help me honor our chair, my friend, David Eisler. Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think that's the right way to hold it. Thank you. If you put that down, I'll hold on. I'll take it over your chair. Thank you, Rick. It's my honor to present the next award. Barbara, would you please join me here at the podium? Have to stop filming and join us here. The late Philip L. Sirotkin was the founding father and senior advisor of the Midwestern Higher Education Compact. The Philip Sirotkin Award honors his founding spirit and many contributions to MEC. Barbara Ballard is a distinguished educator and elected official. She joined the University of Kansas in 1980, serving as Associate Vice President for Student Success, Associate Dean for Student Life, and Director of the Emily Taylor Women's Resource Center. She joined the Robert J. Dole Institute of Politics at the University of Kansas in 2004 and serves as Associate Director for Outreach. Barbara is a representative of the Kansas legislature, first elected in November 1992. She serves on the House leadership team as the Democratic Caucus Chair and is the first African American to serve on leadership. She has previously served as president of the National Black Caucus of State Legislators. Barbara has served with MEC since 2005. I started to list all the MEC committees that she served on. I thought it was just simpler to say I think she served on nearly every committee that MEC has, and she's done extraordinary service. We currently benefit from her very able leadership of the Governance Committee. And if you've had the opportunity to meet and work with Barbara like I have, you've grown to appreciate her keen intellect, her sharp analytical skills, the way that she communicates so clearly, and the way that she truly cares about MEC, about the students that we serve. So Barbara, it's my honor to introduce to you and present you the 2021 Philip Sirotkin Award winner, Barbara Ballard. Congratulations, Barbara. Would you like to say something?
Yes, certainly.
I'm going to try not to drop this.
That would be fun, wouldn't it? Oh, wow. Well, Good evening, and thank you very much. You know, it really is humbling because when you do things that you really want to do, that you love to do, that you enjoy doing, and you're learning in the process. I think all of the committees I've ever served on has helped me in the next step or whatever I was doing at that time. So, you know, if my dad was here, he would say, "Thank you for honoring my daughter." The main reason I started that way is because education was extremely important to him. My mother wanted us to be good people who cared about other people. Our father wanted us to be educated people because he said if we did that, we would always be in a position to take care of ourselves. And I think in the back of my mind, I have always thought about that. He wanted us to be able to take care of ourselves. So I think that's why he would thank you for recognizing hard work, dedication. And there are so many people in MHEC that are outstanding, work hard, are dedicated. I just happen to be the one that's being recognized this evening. And for that, I thank all of you, because from Dr. Eisner to other presidents of MHEC, I have observed and I have enjoyed and I have learned from them. And that is real special, because it has never been a chore to come to a MHEC meeting. I have looked forward to it. And I have looked forward to the people that I have met, that we've shared stories. And last year I even found out that there was one person here that actually was born in Petersburg, Virginia, and I was born in Petersburg, Virginia. So you see, there's so many connections. So I would just simply say thank you. I would like to say thank you to Susan Heegard, to Robtrembath, and all of the staff, because, you know, you have to all work together to make MHEC what it is today, and it is an outstanding organization. And I certainly want to recognize my Kansas people here this evening, because, you know, we all work together, we come here together. Actually, we see each other more here than we do in Lawrence, Kansas, or in Kansas. So for that, I say, we work together, and I value you as well. And for the Governance Committee, I'll simply say, I have to thank Olivia Madison for recommending me to do it, because she was chairperson at the time. And I will end by saying, Shirley Chisholm, for those of you who don't know who she is, was the first African-American woman elected to the New York Assembly. And in her autobiography, she says that service is the rent we pay for occupying space on earth. And I have thought she was the first woman ever to run for president of the United States, but not from a major party. And she had obstacles to overcome, and she did. And if service is the rent we pay for occupying space on earth, we all have an obligation to make this world a better place. And for me, that service has served me well, because it's outside of myself. It is the caring, it is the giving. And for that, I say thank you so very much. But it could have been anyone in this room. But it was me. Thank you very, very much.
Thank you, David, and congratulations, Barbara. Thank you so much. This was a wonderful evening and in a beautiful space. So have a great night. Thank you.